I'm tired. I had to get up early because it seems a little bird told me that I need to call workers' compensation court. And it seems that I have a court date for the 16th. Now, I've called several times, quite a few times to court. They know I live in Washington State. They also know and have received letters stating that the attorneys do not represent me. I don't know who they represent, but they don't represent me, and I let them go years ago. Now, I also have doctors I see because I live in pain. I've had 8 spinal cord surgeries, a heart attack. I need knee replacements, though one of my doctors say I can go to work. I guess my pain is okay. Even though I take drugs for the pain, can't drive on those things, and it is dangerous taking the bus here, because the police don't respond within a reasonable amount of time. I would say within 15 minutes at the very least. When a bus driver calls, they should have a police officer there to help them out, but they don't here. I've lived in housing and been robbed in all those housings. In fact, I'm fighting now to get a copy of my credit report because supposedly I have a bad credit. I'm wondering which one of those managers whose building I lived in, where I was constantly robbed, or when I was living up in Everett, they had a family with little children who stayed up all night just banging away, keeping me up. And this was senior housing. And one of my checks, my Social Security checks disappeared from the bank, and I had to pay them money that I should have gotten from Social Security, but it's okay for certain people to rob me, to take money out of the banks, and Social Security, you call them up and you complain about it, they do nothing. I wonder why. They're also saying I got too much money. I've been paying them back for years, even though most of that money was stolen by organized crime. I actually married into a family, and yes, my mother-in-law is a godfather in organized crime. That's why I believe money's disappeared from my bank account. Do the police, does anybody out there give a shit? Evidently not. And it seems that, like I said, the doctors say I can go back to work, even though I need knee replacements, being in pain. Haven't gotten the braces, which has taken over a month because of workers' comp. I mean, it took them a year to send me to a doctor, a specialist, who took x-rays, looked at the x-rays, and said, you need braces for both knees because they took so long. I can live in pain, and it's okay. I can live in housing which You ask the manager if you can change the lock because you've had people come into your apartment, and he doesn't give you permission, even though he changed all the locks on their storage units. I mean, who was selling the key so the thieves could get into my apartment? Because I wasn't safe. In fact, every apartment I've lived in, I've had that problem. It seems I can only live in certain apartments where crime is okay because the police make police reports and not a thing is done. And then the same managers turn around and ask me, "You going back to New York?" Well, why don't you just tell me that my mother-in-law wants me to go back to New York so she can give me to one of her cousins to marry, since I worked all my life. But because I'm not going back, I guess she's going to have somebody close my workers' comp case claiming I'm okay to work, even though I need surgeries on my knees, so she can steal the money. Why? Why is this happening? Why is a woman in a family, which if you stole from them, they would raise holy hell? Now, you did your part as a husband, a father, even though she constantly interfered, caused tension, because my late wife did love my first child, which wasn't hers, but when my second child came along, somebody was whispering in her ear, stating, he loves that child more than he loves your child. What nonsense. What pettiness. What a small person, a small mind would think of that. There's no such thing as I love one child over another. You're at playland, you have a baby, and then you have I think she was 9 or 10 years old at the time. And you need to take her on rides. I mean, what would anybody else do? Would you just sit there admiring your little baby? You love your baby, but, you only get the oldest one every other weekend. And the tension that my mother-in-law caused, well, I guess she was right? It was right for her to interfere and start to put cracks in a marriage, because she knows so much that her daughter, when she was a baby, she was such a loving, caring mother, got a temperature that ruined her kidneys. And when we were married, we went to Mexico. I took her on a honeymoon. And guess what? We came back. She wasn't feeling good. I worked in a hospital. I had a decent job. So she was able to get the proper medical care. And they told her, you had a high fever when you were a child, and that's what ruined your kidney. Well, she did get 2 kidney transplants within a year, and I guess that's thanks to her godfather mother. And, I wouldn't be talking about the woman. I really wouldn't. But, I'm tired of being robbed. I'm tired of losing my teeth and not having money to pay to have them fixed. I'm tired of her robbing me. I'm tired of her making my daughter less than. I wanted my daughter to go to college even before she was born. And thanks God to her late mother, you know, my daughter did that. Unfortunately, somebody was stealing money from me where I barely had enough to eat. My Social Security money out of Chase Manhattan Bank. My, you know, and I was told by my union, oh, we're paying you too much. Half of it was going to my late wife while she was alive. And then after she died, I got all of it. You know, wrong is wrong. And my mother-in-law, Carmen Pizarro, Cuca as they call her, is wrong. I mean, you don't persecute a person because they don't agree with you. Because you've been wrong all your life, lady. Let me tell you, you have been wrong. You're a thief. You have hurt your own children and grandchildren. My daughter's in the mess she's in because of you. Because you did wrong, stealing my Social Security money. Okay, you have people in Social Security, you have people in the banks, and it looks like you have people in the courts. Because they should know that I live in Washington State now, and that the lawyers don't represent me because I've written so many times about that, but they don't tell me, well, you need a hearing for the judge, and I'm going to arrange it so you can speak to the judge over the phone and lose your lawyers as you want. But no, I have a court hearing on 125th Street on January 16th, I believe it is. And those guys better not show up to represent me because they don't represent me. They don't. Those lawyers didn't get money when the people at Workers' Comp were holding back the checks I was supposed to receive, and I had to come back to New York. And then the woman told everybody not to keep me in that extra room, and I had to go sleep in a senior homeless shelter, which was run by their family, by the way, and they did have one of the boyfriends there hiding out from the police because he was a drug dealer, and he even sold drugs there. And this is the crap that goes on. And he was sneaking in the cousin he was messing with into the shelter, having sex with her. If you have to go to the bathroom, well, it's too bad. You can't go. Yes, him and I did get into it. But this has been the problem. You know, I've seen on TV where they state that, you know, the mafia's gone. Those guys were taken out by people in organized crime. Yeah, the mafia is gone, but organized crime is alive and well and running this country, it seems to me. If I'm wrong, you tell me.